What's up, guys? Today we're going to be learning how to vibe code in only 3 steps and in under 10 minutes. This is going to be a large, overarching, 10,000 foot high overview video. I'll make videos more in depth on each of these topics later on by request in the comments. And so let's jump into it. So, first and foremost, before we start coding, we have to come up with an idea. That's your part. You can do that on your own. But once you have the idea, then you need to choose a platform. And this comes to the decision of which platform do you want to choose? And specifically which IDE do you want to choose? And you may have not heard the term IDE before. I'll type it in here. It's going to be IDE. Stands for Integrative Development Platform. That's basically, if you ever opened up, this little this thing in your on your computer, the command shell, the PowerShell, whatever you want to call it. That's basically what the IDE is with a wrapper around it. So it has the terminal inside, it has the wrapper around the terminal, so it makes the whole experience a little bit more streamlined, a little bit easier to use. And so you're going to want to choose an IDE that you like to work with. For most people, that's Cursor. Cursor is kind of the gold standard in terms of agentic coding IDEs because they have their own model built in as well. And the Cursor model is actually pretty good, but we'll get that into a second. So there's Cursor, there's Google's Antigravity, and there's VS Studio. There's a million of them, but these are kind of like the big ones people use for vibe coding. And you can mix and match, try them all, and see which one you like best. I personally use Cursor, and sometimes I actually use the Codex one, which I don't have pulled up here. But Cursor is really my favorite of all the ones that I've tried. So choose your IDE. And next, once you choose your IDE, you need to choose which model you're going to use or models, right? So there's a way to do this for free. And so I'll just type in free. So if you want to do this for free, if you want to do all the vibe coding for free, you can definitely do that, but you're going to be beholden to what's called rate limits. And to get past these rate limits, you can rotate different free agents, right? But there is a catch that a lot of times there's going to be more friction between the free agents because a lot of the free agents can't live in the terminal. I'll pull it up right here. This is the terminal. So if I go here and I type in Claude, it's going to bring up the Claude right here. Fable 5 is back. Cool. So it's going to bring up Claude, and then I can type directly into the terminal. Otherwise, I'm going to have to, install some sort of plugin or, go back and forth, dropping the code base into like a separate platform and having it go back and forth. It can cause a lot more friction and it can just make things a lot more difficult for you. So that is the trade-off if you want free. I personally pay for everything. And so when we're choosing our models, it does depend. What model do we want to choose? Of the major models, there's the Cursor one that's built in, and that is free to a point, but the rate limit is pretty low. And then there is the Claude, which is everybody's biggest and favorite. I'm personally on the Claude Max because I do a lot of the agentic coding and a lot of the vibe coding. And so I've gotten great results from it. This would be my personal recommendation and personal choice. I'll see if we can't get, some sort of creator code for them to maybe get a discount. And then there's GPT, which, they're really actually pretty good. I use actually the team plan, which isn't listed here, but they're really very solid, pretty close to Claude. I think, Anthropic's Claude might be a little bit better, but, you can use both. I do use both in some situations. And then there's Gemini. And so those are kind of like the big four ones is Cursor, Claude, OpenAI, and Gemini. And Gemini, I can't speak to it. I really haven't used it that much. I hear it's, relatively cheap and pretty quick, but I just can't say because I haven't used it. But if my recommendation, go with Claude. You cannot go wrong with Claude. And then let's go to the let's go to the sublevel. So once you choose your model, once you upload it into your IDE, as I did, in front of you guys right here. And also here is the Cursor built-in agent, if you're curious. And in the Cursor built-in agent, you can actually choose from Oh, you can't do that anymore. You used to be able to choose from different models and mix and match. Um, but once you get in there, then you're going to want to do something called uploading skills if you're a bit more advanced. If you're just starting, don't worry about it yet. You'll get there. So there's skills and there's architecture. And so uploading skills are things like GStack, which you probably haven't heard of before, but there's different skills that can make Claude and your agentic coding agent work a little bit different. It's basically reprogramming the way they think in order to get a different result, right? Because they all kind of think around a similar path regardless of the prompt that they're given. And if you want to change that path, you can upload the skills, directives, all those kind of different folders for them to review and look at to change the direction that they're going to think. And then architecture can help with different issues that your agentic agent can fall into. Like, for instance, there's things that create networks of your entire code base. So it's easier for the models to understand the correlation between all of the different lines of code you have and how they interact with one another. And so those are things you can add down the line once you become more advanced. However, simple, you just go, hey, I got an idea. I choose my platform. I choose my model. Oh, I accidentally added an H. And then you just start vibing, right? You literally just use plain English to start typing in there, and you just go off from there. And that's it, guys. That's how you vibe code in 3 steps in under 10 minutes. Super simple, super easy. Again, this is 10,000 foot overview. I'm going to make some more in-depth videos because I've been spending a lot of time doing all this and haven't been spending the time making these videos to educate everybody and help them with their own, vibe coding journey. And so hope you enjoyed. I'm Jake. If you just stayed to the end, appreciate a like and subscribe would super help me. And I'm going to come out with a lot more great content. And so if you don't want to miss out all that great free content, stay with me. Join the journey. But nonetheless, appreciate you guys. Cheers.